Hi, welcome to the Explainer series for Quant. Here we'll be using very simple concepts and apply it to CAT level problems and solve them as easily as possible. In today's session, we'll be looking at quasi-quadratic equations, which means equations which can be treated as quadratic equations. We'll also be looking at higher order equations like to the power 3, to the power 4, etc. I would suggest pause this video, look at the link available in the description of this video. The entire question set with the answer key is available there. Try to solve those on your own and then proceed with the rest of this session. Please do share this with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. You can like and follow us on Facebook as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel to get live event and notifications for all the updates regarding CAT and other MBA entrance examination. You can also look at our WhatsApp as well as Telegram lists. You can join over there and we will update you. We don't spam over there. If you want, you can enroll for our Quant and LRDI courses. These are the best and the most comprehensive courses available in the market. We'll start off this session with quasi-quadratic equations. These are equations which can be converted into a quadratic equation. If you are familiar with these type of relations, these are questions which are treated a lot in standard 9th and 10th mathematics books. I learned it when I was in standard 10th in CBSE syllabus, so NCERT board. You will probably be able to find most of them over there. Okay, so let's see what this says. The first one is from CAT 2019, slot 2. The real root of the equation 2 to the power 6x plus 2 to the power 3x plus 2 minus 21 equals 0 is how much? Now, if you observe, this is 2 to the power 3x and this is 2 to the power 6x. Now, 2 to the power 6x can be written as 2 to the power 3x whole square, right, if you were to use the properties of indices. So, let's put 2 to the power 3x as k. So this relationship will become k square plus, I can write 2 to the power 3x plus 2 as 2 to the power 2 into 2 to the power 3x, right? 2 to the power 2 is 4, 2 to the power 3x is k, minus 21 equals 0. So this becomes a quadratic equation. The roots of this will be minus 7 and plus 3. Right, if you solve this, you can split it as x plus 7, k plus 7k into k minus 3, right? So k plus 7 into k minus 3, that's what it is. So you'll get this. Now, so ideally this should be the solution of this. So I know 2 to the power 3x is equal to these values. But can 2 to the power 3x be equal to minus 7? Right, 2 to the power x, any power, can go up till infinity, positive infinity, and can reach 0 if x is equal to minus infinity. Right, so it can never turn negative. It can never turn negative, so this part is out. So the only solution left is 2 to the power 3x equals 3. Now if I take log to the base 2, you will get 3x equals log to the base 2 of 3. If you rewrite this, x is equal to 1/3 of log to the base 2 of 3. Option D will be your correct choice. Let's proceed to equations which are of the higher order, etc. 2 to the power 3, to the power 4, to the power 5, etc. Okay, some of the equations are pretty straightforward to solve. This is from from IFT 2012. It says the equation 7 to the power x minus 1 plus 11 to the power x minus 1 equals 170 has how many solutions? No 1, 2 or 3. Right. The first thing that you need to know about any exponential function is that it's monotonic. Right. So it will go something like this. Right. It's an exponential function. Right. So at y is equal to 0, x will be equal to 1, but the value will be equal to 1, but other than that, all the values, it will keep on rising exponentially. So every value of x maps to only one value of y, and every value of y is mapped to only one value of x. It's a 1-to-1 function. Right, so if it has a solution, it can have only one solution, it cannot have more than one solution. So option C and D are out. right? Can either have no solution or can have one solution. Now, what does this say? Some power of 7 plus the same power of 11 adds up to 170. Some power of 7 plus the same power of 11 adds up to 170. Let's look at the powers of 7, right? 7 and 11. 7 to the power 1 is 7, 11 to the power 1 is basically 11. 7 plus 11 is 18, not equal to 170. 7 square is 49. 11 square is 121. 121 plus 49 adds up to 170, right? Which is the value. So I know x minus 1 equals 2, or x will be equal to 3. That is the only one solution possible, right? Key point, it's a monotonic function. So if there is a solution, there is only one solution, not more than one solution is possible. Now, this was a pretty straightforward question. You can also extend the concept that we learned in quadratic equation about the product and sum of the roots to higher level equations. For a higher level equation, if you were to represent a equation which has n roots, right? It will be to the x to the power n, right? So it will be a0 x to the power n plus a1 x to the power n minus 1, a2 x to the power n minus 2, so on till an, where an is a constant term, is equal to 0. I can rewrite it as, if you divide by a0, now I can divide by a0. Why? Because since it's an equation of the power of the order n, a0 cannot be equal to 0. So I can safely divide by 0 throughout, right? Just as we did for quadratic equation. Now it will have n roots, so I can represent it in the form x minus r1 into x minus r2, so on till x minus rn, n roots. Right, now some of the roots might be repeated roots, some of the roots might be complex roots, but we are not interested in that. We are just interested in representing this in this format. Right, if I were to manipulate this, right, you will get a scenario like this, just as we got for a quadratic equation, right? The coefficient of x n minus 1 will be the sum, the coefficient of x n minus 2 will be sum taken 2 at a time, and so on, right? So if we were to compare this expression with the expression that we did after rewriting the original expression, we can find the sum of the roots taken k at a time, right? So the sum of the roots taken k at a time will be minus 1 to the power k into ak divided by a0 when it's represented in this order. Let's try to use this relation in a question which came up in CAT 2008, right? This says the roots of the equation x square minus ax square plus bx minus c are 3 consecutive integers. What is the smallest value of b? Okay, you have 3 consecutive integers, so let's take them as k minus 1, k plus 1. Now, for purely academic purposes, I'm trying to write this. If you were to use this relationship, right? So minus of minus a will be equal to sum of roots taken one at a time. So basically sum of roots will be k minus 1 plus k plus 1, which will be 3k. So a is equal to 3k. Right, sum of roots taken 2 at a time will be minus 1 square into b. That will be sum of roots taken 2 at a time. So it will be k minus 1 into k plus k into k plus 1 plus square product of k minus 1 and k plus 1, which is k square minus 1, right? And to take the product of the roots taken 3 at a time, that will be minus 1 to the power 3 into minus c should be product of the roots. So it will be k into k minus 1 into k plus 1. Right, so without even finding the roots, I can have the sum of the roots taken 2 at a time, sum of the roots taken 3 at a time, which is basically the product of the roots here. We are interested in b, so let me just clear this out. So b will now resolve to k square minus k plus k square plus k plus k square minus 1. So minus k and plus k go out. So this will be 3 times k square minus 1. That is the value of b. I need to find the smallest value of b. Smallest value of b as much as possible. Now what is k? K is an integer, right? So the lowest value of k will be 0, right? lowest value of k square will be 0. Even if you take minus 5 square, it will become positive, right? So the lowest value of k square will be 0. So 0 minus 1, that will be the smallest value of b, which is minus 1. Option B as well over here. Now, some higher order equation might require you to be a little bit more careful when you're solving this. This is a question from IFT 2013. Again, a very nice question. It says, if x square plus 3x minus 10 is a factor of 3x to the power 4 plus 2x cube minus ax square plus bx minus a plus b minus 4, then the closest approximate value of a and b are how much? Closest approximate values of a and b are how much? Now, we know x square plus 3x minus 10 is a factor of this expression, which means if you divide x square plus 3x minus 10, if you divide this expression by x square minus 3x plus 10, you will get a polynomial quotient and the remainder will be 0. Right? Your remainder will be 0, which means it evenly divides it. Which also means that if I equate this to 0, the roots of this equation will be solution to this equation as well. Right? So if I equate this also to 0, the roots of this equation will also be roots of the larger polynomial. Okay, what are the roots of this equation? Roots of this equation, x square minus plus 3x minus 10. It will be minus 5 and plus 2. Right? It will be minus 5 and plus 2. I can rewrite it as x plus 5 into x minus 2. That will give you x square plus 3x minus 10. So roots of this are minus 5 and plus 2. What it also means is that if I substitute minus 5 in this, it will give me 0. If you substitute 2 in this, it will give me 0. So that will give me two values of a and b. And from that, I'll be able to find the values of a and b. Let's substitute this. Right? I'm not writing down all the values. So if you substitute this, when you substitute x is equal to minus 5, you'll get this relationship. When you get x is equal to 2, you'll get this relationship. Now, we have two equations, two unknowns. We need to resolve this. 4 and 3, 12. So if I multiply this by 3, multiply this by 4 and add, right, you will get 26 into 3, 78, plus 5 into 4, 20. 20 times a equals 1621 into 3 will be 4863. 16 to 4 will be 240. So 0351. 5103 equals 98a. Right, from the options, the closest value of a will be 52. A is approximately 52. Now you cannot use a calculator. This was IFT 2013. So this is out. Right, if I substitute a is equal to 52 in the second relation, that's easier to work with. 52 into 5 is 260. Minus 60 will be equal to 3 times b. If I rewrite this, you'll get 200 by 3 equals b. So b will be approximately 66, 67. Option C will be your correct choice. We'll round things up with a beautiful question from CAT 2003, the repeat paper. It's not difficult, but you need to be extremely careful when you're answering this. It says the number of roots common between the two equations, x cube plus 3x square plus 4x plus 5 is equal to 0 and x cube plus 2x square plus 7x plus 3 is equal to 0 is how many? Are none of the roots common, or is there one root common, is there two root common, or is there three roots common? Right. Now, if you were to able to graph these two, then you will be able to find the roots. But another way of figuring out common roots is, what is the point of a common root? If there is a common root between these two equations, right? So suppose the common root is k. Right? If I substitute k in this, that will solve this equation. If I substitute k in this, that will solve this equation, and both of them will also be equal. So I know k cube plus 3k square plus 4k plus 5 equals 0, which is also equal to k cube plus 2k square plus 7k plus 3. Right, now I equate the first and the last relation. I'll get k cube and k cube will get cancelled. 3 square minus 3k k square minus 2k square will be k square. 4k minus 7k will be minus 3k. And 5 plus will be 2 equals 0. So this will give me k minus 1 into k minus 2 equals 0, or k will be equal to 1 and 2. So ideally it looks like two common roots. But am I doing something wrong? Now just observe. If we put k is equal to 1 in this, if we put k is equal to 1 in this, will it give us 0? No, it will not give us 0. If we put k is equal to 1 in this, will it give us 0? No, it will not give us 0. Then how did we do this? How did we end up over here? We ended up over here because we equated the first and the second equation. We did not check whether the value of k actually ends up being 0. While if it is a common root, we should have solved just this equation. If it was a common root, we should have solved just this equation. This is a very common mistake that people make. If you actually plot these two graphs, you will actually get this. Right? We have found the intersection point of these two graphs. Now, if it was a common root, then the intersection point of those two graphs will actually have intersected on the x-axis. Right? That is when it will be a common root. You have just solved these two equations. Doesn't make them equal to 0. Right? You also need to check whether these two also equal to 0. We have found the cases where both the equations give you the same value, but that value may not coincide when y is equal to 0. Right? So the correct answer to this is actually 0, not 2. Right? It's a brilliant question which actually tells you not to jump into conclusions too quickly. You have done most of the work over here. Right? You found out where the two graphs intersect, but that should, for it to be a common root, it should also intersect at the point where y is equal to 0, or the x-axis. Right? So this by itself will not give you common roots. You also have to put it back into the original equation and check whether it actually ends up in 0. So higher order equations are not too difficult to solve. The basic process remains identical to how you solve a quadratic equation with some additional terms and conditions. Right? In our future videos, we will actually look at these higher order equations and inequalities in a little bit more detail, and also introduce you to graphing theory of how to solving equalities and inequalities using graphs as well. That completes this particular session. If you liked it, please do share it with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examination. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow our Facebook page. The links for our course are available on the description to this video. Till we meet again the next time, goodbye and all the best.